How to be better at learning. 84% of students say their number one study strategy is rereading their notes. But according to decades of cognitive science research, there is essentially zero evidence that rereading actually works. So, what does work? In this video, I'm going to show you 3 techniques, backed by over 100 years of research, that let you study less time, but remember significantly more. And at the end, I'll put all 3 into a simple daily system you can start using tonight. Let's start with a question. Think about the last time you studied for a test. What did you actually do? If you're like most people, you probably did some combination of these. Reread the chapter. Highlight the important parts. Maybe review those highlights the night before the exam. This feels productive. Your brain is seeing the material. The highlighted words feel familiar. You think, yeah, I know this. But here's the trap. There's a massive difference between recognizing information and retrieving it. When you reread your notes, your brain says, I've seen this before, and confuses that familiarity with actual knowledge. Psychologists call this the illusion of competence. It's the reason you walk into an exam feeling prepared and then go completely blank when you see the questions. You recognize the material in your notes, but you never practice pulling it out of your brain, which is exactly what an exam asks you to do. So the entire foundation of how most people study, reading, highlighting, reviewing, is built on a method that tricks you into thinking you're learning when you're mostly just wasting time. The good news? The methods that actually work aren't harder. They're just different. In 2011, a researcher named Jeffrey Karpicke ran a study that changed how scientists think about learning. He took a group of students and split them into 4 groups. Each group studied the same material, but using a different method. Group 1 read the material once. Group 2 read it 4 times. Group 3 drew detailed concept maps, a strategy that seems really active and effective. And Group 4 read the material just once, then closed the book and tried to write down everything they could remember. 1 week later, all 4 groups took a surprise test. Group 4, the ones who just tried to recall everything from memory, crushed it. They outperformed every other group, 50% more retention than rereading. And here's the kicker. They studied for less total time than the group that read the material 4 times. This is active recall, and it works because of a simple principle. Every time you force your brain to pull information out of memory, you strengthen the neural pathway to that information. It's like a hiking trail. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it gets. Rereading is like flying over the trail in a helicopter. You can see it, but you're not actually walking it. Your legs don't get stronger. So, practically, what does active recall look like? It's dead simple. Read something, close it, write down what you remember, check what you missed, study only the things you missed next time. It feels harder than rereading. That's the point. That difficulty is your brain actually building connections. Less time, better results. That's not a hack. It's what the evidence says. But there's a problem. Even with active recall, you will forget things over time, which brings us to technique number 2. In 1885, a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus did something kind of insane. He memorized thousands of nonsense syllables, random combinations of letters with no meaning, and then tested himself over days, weeks, and months to measure exactly how fast he forgot them. What he discovered is one of the most replicated findings in all of psychology, the forgetting curve. Within 24 hours, you forget roughly 70% of what you learned. After a week, you're down to maybe 20%. After a month, it's basically gone. This is why cramming the night before an exam sort of works for the test, but you can't remember any of it 2 weeks later. You're just riding the top of the curve. But Ebbinghaus also discovered something else. Every time you review the material, the curve gets flatter. The first review might keep it alive for 3 days. The second review, a week. The third, a month. Eventually, the information moves into what psychologists call long-term storage, and the curve is nearly flat. The key insight is when you review, you want to review right before you forget, not too soon. That's wasting time reviewing stuff you already know. Not too late. That's relearning from scratch. Right at the edge. This is spaced repetition. A 2006 meta-analysis of 254 studies found that spacing out your reviews produced double the long-term retention compared to cramming the same number of reviews into one session.